We live in a time where intelligent people are being silenced so that stupid people won't be offended. And if you speak with stupid people, they will probably do exactly what Mark Twain warned us about. Never argue with a fool. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. We are already seeing this more than ever now, especially in America. But the question remains, how should intelligent people deal with stupid ones? First, take a look at yourself and ask whether you are stupid or not. And if not, continue watching this video, and let's learn all about this through the pessimist philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer's eyes. Arthur Schopenhauer is known for his deep pessimism about human nature and society. Schopenhauer believed the world was driven by a blind will, an irrational force underlying all existence. Human reason, in his view, was not a stable guide, but a fragile illusion layered on top of this will. Because of this, he considered stupidity to be the natural condition of most people, while intelligence was a rare and often painful exception. This outlook is captured in his sharp but dark humor. He once remarked that the doctor sees all the weakness of mankind, the lawyer all the wickedness, the theologian all the stupidity. The joke reveals something serious. Every profession encounters humanity at its worst. And from the philosopher's perspective, foolishness is everywhere. At first glance, such a view might seem to encourage hostility toward the ignorant. Schopenhauer does acknowledge a form of detached contempt, but more than anger, what the intelligent experience is disillusionment. He observes that intelligent people often find ordinary social life empty and exhausting. No one shows himself as he is, but wears his mask and plays his part. Indeed, the whole of our social arrangements may be likened to a perpetual comedy, and this is why a man who is worth anything finds society so insipid, while a blockhead is quite at home in it. The intelligent person sees through social masks and shallow performances, while the blockhead feels perfectly comfortable within them. This imbalance makes genuine conversation and cooperation difficult. Schopenhauer also emphasizes how deeply vanity shapes human behavior. As summarized by philosopher Mary Warnock, people cannot bear to be seen to be defeated, especially when this would suggest they were stupider than their opponent. When a foolish person is challenged, the resistance is rarely about evidence or truth. It is about pride. To lose an argument feels like humiliation, and so reason is rejected in favor of stubbornness. And here lies the paradox. The intelligent person values truth and clarity, yet must interact with people whose pride makes rational discussion dangerous. Even when intelligence is on the side of truth, confronting ignorance can provoke resentment, envy, or outright hostility. Schopenhauer warns that winning an argument may still result in losing peace of mind, social harmony, or personal safety. This creates a kind of strategic dilemma. How should intelligent people deal with idiots without sacrificing their own serenity? The answer will soon be revealed in this video, but first let's learn the nature of a fool through Schopenhauer eyes. In The World as Will and Representation, Schopenhauer recounts an encounter with an 11-year-old boy in an asylum whom he judged not to be insane, but merely stupid. The boy could speak and reason at a basic level, yet he failed to grasp simple causality. He was endlessly fascinated by the reflection in Schopenhauer's monocle, unable to understand that the image was only a reflection and not a separate reality. As Schopenhauer explains, stupidity, according to Schopenhauer, is a failure to understand causation, or in other words, why things are the case. Without the ability to connect cause and effect, even in simple situations, the child's mind functioned much like an animal's, reacting only to immediate stimuli and easily deceived by tricks or illusions. This leads to an important distinction. A fool is not someone incapable of learning facts, but someone whose power of understanding is underdeveloped. As he writes, a stupid person has no insight into the connection of natural phenomena. He readily believes in magic and miracles. He does not observe the concealed motives. Such a mind takes the world at face value, fails to see underlying structures, and is therefore easily misled by religion, politics, or manipulation that a sharper intellect would immediately detect. Psychologically, this means many fools operate almost entirely on impulse, and emotion. Reflection, foresight, and planning are weak or absent. Their decisions are driven by immediate desire, envy, or social pressure rather than long-term understanding. Schopenhauer links this directly to his concept of the will. The less reason restrains it, the more dominant it becomes. Intelligence allows one to imagine consequences and delay gratification. Stupidity is satisfied with the present moment. Schopenhauer's own attitude towards such people was distant rather than cruel. He believed their suffering stemmed from their nature, and that, in a metaphysical sense, they were victims of the same blind will that governs all life. He did not recommend openly mocking or crushing them. Instead, he viewed ignorance as one of many forms of human suffering, suggesting that we might pity the oddity of the stupid creatures named humans. At the same time, he warned that stupidity can become dangerous when provoked. A lack of insight often makes people unpredictable and aggressive when their pride is challenged. Another crucial point is that stupidity is not confined to a fixed group of people. Even the intelligent can become irrational when driven by emotion, fear, or wounded pride. Schopenhauer emphasizes that everyone is, to some degree, subject to the will. Attachment, envy, hatred, and vanity distort reason in all of us. The difference is that the fool is ruled by these forces most of the time, with little corrective reasoning. The intelligent person, aware of this, understands that almost anyone can become unreasonable when threatened. Schopenhauer observed that humans are acutely sensitive to status and humiliation. The foolish, often insecure about their standing, guard their ego fiercely. He notes that no one tolerates being outwitted by an inferior. It punctures the pride of the smarter opponent if he must beat a creature he regards as less than himself. Even when logic fails them, people will cling to a bad argument simply to avoid appearing stupid. In this environment, the intelligent individual faces a dilemma. What appears obvious and rational to one mind may be incomprehensible or threatening to another. A well-intentioned correction can quickly turn into resentment. One may win intellectually, yet lose socially, creating hostility and tension that outweigh any victory of reason. Before turning to practical strategies, it is worth noting that this problem has long been recognized. Plato's Socrates often pretends ignorance, Socratic irony, to guide discussions without provoking resistance. King Solomon uses riddles and indirect wisdom when confronting folly. Shakespeare's King Lear gives us a fool who, beneath the mask of comedy, speaks truths wiser than those of the nobles. These figures reflect the same insight Schopenhauer offers. When dealing with stupidity, wisdom often disguises itself. Sometimes the intelligent must appear foolish in order to navigate a foolish world, a theme we will return to later. Intelligent people often clash with fools because human nature itself creates conflict. When these two approaches collide, misunderstandings and tension are inevitable. Psychologically, this explains why reasoning with a fool is often fruitless. Beliefs tied to ego, identity, or social standing feel like personal stakes. Schopenhauer recognized this instinctive defense, predating modern ideas of cognitive dissonance. Humans generally cling to beliefs that protect self-image, not truth. Social dynamics intensify this effect. Most people crave approval and fear appearing inferior. Fools often echo popular opinion, however absurd, to maintain social safety. When an intelligent person introduces a disruptive truth, it threatens the social comfort of the group. The fool reacts emotionally, defending consensus rather than engaging with reason. History offers examples of this recurring pattern. Visionaries like Copernicus or Darwin faced fierce opposition because their discoveries challenged familiar, comforting beliefs. Schopenhauer saw this as inevitable. The emotions of the masses and the intellectual convictions of the few are almost always opposed. Complexity intimidates, simplicity reassures, and the intelligent often appear alien or threatening simply for seeing deeper truths. On a moral level, stupidity brings suffering. Those who fail to understand the world often face the consequences of their mistakes. Wisdom, by contrast, offers serenity, not through fulfilling desires, but by perceiving them clearly. This perspective allows the intelligent to cultivate compassion for fools. Their ignorance produces their own difficulties. Yet Schopenhauer cautions that some minds cannot receive argument. Energy must be conserved for those who can. His advice: do not cast pearls before swine. There were also other essential pieces of advice that everyone should take note of, which I will be discussing now. Understate your intelligence. Do not announce your superiority. Reveal insight only when necessary. Many successful scientists and thinkers avoid advertising expertise to prevent envy or rivalry. Literature illustrates this. Prospero in The Tempest guides events quietly, while Shakespeare's verbose Polonius often undermines himself by over-explaining. In real life, a teacher or manager might correct errors gently, giving others room to save face. Intelligence should calm situations, not provoke resentment. Sometimes verbal concession is the smartest move. A response like, "That's an interesting perspective. I see why you'd think that," allows dialogue without conflict. Schopenhauer notes that even insincere praise can diffuse vanity and prevent escalation. Sun Tzu advises feigned weakness to neutralize opposition. By protecting the fool's ego, you avoid needless battles. Withdrawal is often more effective than confrontation. Schopenhauer recounts Thrasymachus leaving a debate with Socrates, uninterested in wasting energy on folly. In practice, this might mean pausing a discussion, changing the setting, or postponing decisions. Let fools express themselves fully. They often exhaust their own misconceptions in the process. Then, guide the conversation gently with questions, anecdotes, or subtle examples. This is not forceful correction, but careful navigation, leading rather than pushing. The goal is to open perspective without triggering defensiveness. Schopenhauer notes that complex language can sometimes protect clarity. If a fool cannot follow technical terms, their authority may seem diminished. This should be used ethically and selectively, such as in professional negotiations or debates, not to belittle, but to manage interference. Intelligence is a tool. Knowing how to use it is part of strategy. Wit allows lessons to land without confrontation. Schopenhauer favored irony and subtle humor. A light, self-deprecating story or a playful anecdote illustrates truth indirectly, letting the fool recognize contradictions without embarrassment. Socratic irony operates on the same principle, appearing naive to reveal deeper insight. When rational arguments fail, appealing to self-interest or practical consequences can succeed. Schopenhauer emphasizes that the will is more effective than insight. A manager may stress consequences, a friend may highlight personal risk. Both engage instinctive motivation rather than pride. This is pragmatic, not manipulative. Encounters with foolishness refine intelligence itself. Patience, observation, and restraint strengthen understanding of human nature. Schopenhauer would see each interaction as practice in self-mastery, turning irritation into wisdom. Across all tactics runs a single principle. Do not mirror the fool's frenzy. Stay detached, calm, and deliberate. Reputation is external. Character is internal. By maintaining inner clarity, foolishness loses power. Intelligence is used not to dominate, but to stabilize.